Oh, what's my head doing down there? I'll fix that in a tick. Hope everybody is well. I don't know why my head has sunk. There we go. In fact, let's put my head over here for this game, because it's better over there in Train Simulator. Alright then, so first look at... What are we looking at? I forgot. Oh yeah, the UP Heavy Challenger by Smokebox. Man, the manual for this thing is impressive. So many keys. Now, I'm just going to chuck it on a test, on a quick drive, because I've been working all day, so I haven't really done a lot of prep. Now, I'm not running the head tracker because it's gone evil on me. That's okay. Hello, Chicago. Welcome. Welcome to the other viewers as well. Alright. It's setting itself up. How does it sound? Quillable whistle. Pretty cool. It's bloody loud, I'll give it that. It looks nice. Very nice. And at least this time I remembered to start the thing in daylight. So it's basically two engines under one boiler. And it's very, very cool. Now, let me just show you the manual, okay? So this is just all the key commands. It does everything. But today, I'm going to take a fairly easy way out. So we're going to jump in the cab and we're going to go, let's just make sure he's on. Right. Automatic fireman enabled. And we're going to do something sassy. I drive. Why drive when you don't have to? I should probably bring my mic closer, shouldn't I? So at the moment, we are being driven by that bloke in the cab. Now we have a headlight on, which is good. And we can start running through the different things that you can do. Whoops. Got the honk at a crossing. Naughty. Maybe I should look this way round so I can see crossings. That makes sense. Or this side so it's got better light. Either way. Anyway, it performs quite nicely. It's just happily cruising along through the yard at the moment. It looks at upcoming speed limits, so it's going to behave itself. Interestingly, the manual says it doesn't brake downhill, but it does seem to brake sometimes, so I think I need to read the rest of the manual. So let's have a look at some of the stuff you can do. Let's have a look at... Okay, let me just get everything up here. The usual things like the throttle and reverser are quite normal. Engine brake and the train brake are quite normal. You can actually change the pressure of an emergency brake application, which is interesting. You can set where the first service brake happens to be, which is kind of cool. So it's nice. Actually, remind me if I drive this thing that I have to make it rail driver compatible, because right now it won't be, but it's just Control-Shift-3 makes it rail driver compatible. We can have a look at our water gauges in our cab. Looking firebox? I'm not sure if I can actually open the firebox since I've got the automatic fireman on. No, it doesn't look like I can. See, the fireman's doing all these things. Watch. All this stuff is happening. It's quite cool. I can probably turn that on. See, killed our lights. We'll give it some steam again. And our lights should come back, I hope. Maybe. Got the throttle right out at 100%. There's our lights are back on again. There are light switches that you can turn on and off in here, and you can if you want to. It's interesting that it's a loco that likes to have the throttle at full bore, and it's mostly using the reverser, which is sitting at 35% at the moment. You can see down there. You probably don't need the HUD so much. I actually meant to set it for the Rango one, but I failed because I finished work just as this stream started. So cylinder cocks is the usual deal. That's C to open them. Got the automatic drivers on at the moment, so it won't do that. There's a bell. Get that going. Steam operated. Headlight, you can change. So I think because the automatic driver is running, I probably can't do the headlights at the moment. No, I've got them both on now. Leave that alone. What else can we do? Cylinder cocks with the normal key at the C. Reverse gear steam. So you can... actually it says not able there. Don't worry about that. There's a blow-up cock, there's a sludge remover in the cab. That's that, yes. To clean stuff out. Little vent to get cold or hot, you can open and close it. Kind of cool. There's a defroster, which is on one of the controls we've got. One steam, this one should be water. So they're just backups to the actual gauge up here where you can see the water level on it. What else have we got up there? We can shut our blow-off cock. We've got cylinder back pressure up there. The automatic driver is keeping in safe ranges. Got our headlight controls up here, different things, different positions you can have them in. You notice it just puts them back when I change it. Alright, what else can we do? We can Smokebox hood. Let's go out the front. What's that? Control Shift D. I wonder what happens if you're driving when you shut that. Let's see. Well, that shut it up. What if I closed the throttle when I did that? Will it recover? Or did it get mad because I did that when it was driving? We'll see. What else can you do? Exhaust injector, starting handles, yeah, I've gone through those. Smoke lifter. Stroke reverser, we don't need to touch any of those. We're going to leave all the stoking stuff alone because we're letting the automated dude take care of that. There he goes. Looks like he's working hard again now. Roof ventilator hat. Ooh, let's go back in here. So Control T, you can open and close that. Windows, I believe, can be moved around. So you can move the little windshield screen and you can close your windows if you want to. We'll get a bit hot in here then. Open it up again. What else can we do? Let's go have a look at the chat briefly. Chicago suggests turning the stoker jets on. They're being taken care of by Mr. Invisible Fireman right now. You can see that they are actually happening by themselves. So this comes with a very clever fireman that's doing all of that for you. You have to turn off the game's automatic fireman and run this thing, which is cool. Yes, and you can turn off the red light on and off. I haven't got there yet. get there. What else can you do? We can close our doors. Let's close this one, it'll be easier to see. Oop, it was closing. There it is. Cool bananas. Look at that. Now we should be able to close this one and close the cab up completely. That's so cool. There you go. Keep out, demons. Mind you, you wouldn't want to be in a steam engine cab for very long closed up like that unless it was brutally cold outside. We'll just leave those to fix themselves. What else can we do? Oh, the little windshields, we've done that. The clear vision window. I don't know where that is. So, open up. Oh, that did something weird. Uh-oh. I think I paused the sim. Ah, there we go. I did. I pressed the wrong button. Oh, yeah. They open and close. That's cool. So you can see the fireman's just constantly doing stuff. So he's testing all the gauge classes there. Even in the right order too. Water, then steam. Well done. What else have we got? Vents. Oh, we've opened and closed those. We've seen those. Classification lights. Okay. Apparently we can change the classification lights. Okay. Shift you to go back the other way. Probably should be paying attention to the crossings, but you know I'm not. Because we're playing. We've done our headlight selector switch. You can turn off some shadow things. You can turn off on and off the lights inside the cab. So that's that one. Turn it on. Kind of handy when you're in a tunnel. What else have we got? We've got our backup red light. We've got running lights that we can turn on and off. Train indicator lamps. I think they're the number lamps at the front. So that's control shift N. Let's have a look. Control shift N. Yep. Goodo. Marker lights is put them on and off is an M. I don't know what that turned on. We've got that turned on. It's driving itself remarkably well, by the way. We can set our track condition, so we can set it off to be really slippery, for example. So wet leaves. Won't go any more slippery than that without having snow. So we should probably put that back, shouldn't we? Where is it? I've lost it now. Shift 2. Control 3 makes it better. So back to dry. What else have we got here? Base smoke densities. We can change how much smoke there is. That's cool. Pilot door. Control Shift P gets rid of the coupler. Or you can have the coupler out, either way. We'll hide it. There's another whistle board there. That sounds so good. The tender lids on the back here. Control W? Control Shift W maybe. No, Shift W. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe you can't do it when the driving guy is going. What else can you do? The whistle selector, Control Shift Spacebar. We changed whistles. That's a boring whistle. That's a better whistle. Speaking of whistle, we have to do it. All that wasted noise. And there's a performance report for Control Shift R. That just tells you what's going on in the locomotive, which is kind of cool. So I have to say, Smokebox has taken this thing next level. Because right now we're running with an automatic fireman and an automatic driver, and all I have to do is blow the whistle. Which is pretty cool. Imagine living here when this comes past. We can get over the top on this side. Can't quite see that the locomotive is actually properly articulated on these little curves. Well, you can see it because the front truck's bouncing around there. So that's taking the whole lead engine unit with it. And it must have it's dropping something on the track there. Maybe it's sanding. So I thought for a first look, rather than learn how to drive it, I'd just let it do it. I took it out for a spin before I started work this morning, and I have to say, it went pretty well. Wouldn't be that comfortable taking it up a massive gradient. And this is a default quick drive that I've just popped onto the Soldier Summit route. It comes with scenarios to Wasatch grade, but I don't yet have Wasatch grade, so I need to sort that out before my Wasatch grade with the Challenger stream, and I will. Tomorrow we're going to run it on the Empire Builder. So we'll do a full run across Mariah's Pass tomorrow with this thing, which will be fun. I started a test of this quick drive at my lunchtime and just left it running. But I didn't set the time, so by the time it finished it was dark and you couldn't see it anymore. You could just see its headlights and marker lights. The cylinder cocks will not stop you stalling, young fella. Not a chance. What stops you stalling is having enough steam. So do excuse the sad old Soldier Summit route, it is a bit wonky in a few places. Ooh, all the ice hatches are open. Yeah, the cylinder cocks will definitely not stop you stalling. Let's go look on the fireman's side. We can sit here and we can watch the fireman. So he's maintaining pretty good pressure. It'd be nice to have my head tracker on so I can see what's on this gauge here. Ooh, it's doing stuff. There you go. Try to just put the brakes on. Throttle back and put the brakes on. So he does obey speed limits. Now I know in Jamie's stream he said that the whistle stops all the other loco sounds because the whistle's supposed to be really loud and it drowns everything else out. I think it's just so that you can enjoy the whistle, because it's a good one. So this is a beast of a unit. When it actually hits the big grade up Soldier's Summit, up the 2.4 I think it is, it eventually slows down to about 12 miles an hour, but it goes well. It's now blowing off, just to get rid of the crud out of the boiler. Blowing off and a safety valve going at the same time. That's actually kind of impressive steam generation. You can turn on the F5 HUD with it. So I would suggest its ideal fire mass is about 4,200 pounds, because that seems to be where it likes to sit. Right now it's using, there you go, it's just notched back a bit. So it was using more steam than it's generating, and it's back to using more than it's generating now. So it's interesting watching the automated driver drive this thing. What it's doing. Because it certainly drives it a little bit different to the way I would, that's for sure. According to YouTube, I've lost everyone. We'll see if that's true. So tomorrow when it's on the Empire Builder, I'll actually drive it properly. At the moment, I thought it would just be really cool just to watch. Back on the fireman's side here. Constantly changing stuff. Boiler pressure is staying nice and high. Got the exhaust injector running, constantly pumping some water in. It's good. The stoker's chewing away at the coal. If the stoker gets blocked, you can go right there. Right, you can unblock it with this, so you can actually reverse the stoker. That's impressive that you derailed yourself, Chicago, at 15 mile an hour. But hey, you did that. Did you run through some points the wrong way? There we went again with the brakes. Is he slowing down? No, he's going uphill. What's he doing braking for? He does like doing that, I've noticed. It'd be really cool if they were sitting there in this view, that would be nice. But you can only see them when you're on the outside. Not a real road anyway. No crossbucks. Happily making his almost 50 mile an hour. Green on the signal. We're not going to run the whole way up the summit because I reckon you'd get bored of that pretty quickly. Although we could. I need to finish it before my wife comes home because there's stuff she wants me to do when she gets here. It's fair enough. So how good does it look and sound? I haven't found any control issues at all in my drive that I did before, and I'm really impressed with its scripted fireman and its scripted driver. The scripted fireman on other locomotives I've tried has never been that exciting, but this one's doing a good job. So pretty happy. There are limitations on some of the controls, so I encourage you to read the manual. Just like I didn't the other day. It's just chewing through the miles. Yep, one of those cars has got a flat. Maybe not the best camera angle in the world, but eh. How's that? You can even hear the whistle from back here. Another green signal. So you can see both guys actually doing stuff. So what do you think? I don't know if you've noticed, but the smoke even changes colour from quite heavy black to light grey. Just that by itself is quite impressive. I was vaguely thinking that I should make a contest with the old Challenger and the new Challenger and see if the new one can pull the old one apart. I kind of think that'd be fun. Getting a lot of phone pole to the face here. As you can probably tell by it slowing down, we're starting to go uphill. Only a little bit, 0.5%. We're pretty early in the morning, so not much danger of it getting dark on this run. Now, you can, if you've got a lesser machine, it comes in a high definition and a standard definition version. So the high definition version, which I'm running right now, has every single nut, bolt, rivet, they're all here. And the standard definition version has some lower detailed textures in their place. It still looks quite nice. If you need to, you can turn off the shadow cast from the light sources if you want to try and get some frame rate back. On my machine, it doesn't seem to be struggling terribly much. Let's just start this thing up and let's see how hard the machine's working. It's using a bit of GPU, which is actually unusual for Train Simulator. It usually uses less than that. but CPU it's using absolutely bugger all. But as you can tell, I've got an i9 10850K, which I don't even bother to overclock. It's that quick. But the GPU's doing a little bit of work, not a lot. This is OBS streaming to you guys, this little patch. And a little bit of the GPU is the thing that makes my face appear for you. So I can't say the computer's working very hard. Ooh, 1.4, decent gradient now. And it also will have slowed down for the new speed zone. Because it does that. It tries to maintain the speed limits. So do you think every locomotive should come with a self-drive? For those moments that you just want to watch? I like to watch. You can change the numbering as well if you want to. Which is kind of cool. Starting to work much harder now. I'm amazed none of them ever knocked that valve off. It sticks out so far. Starting to work much harder on the hill. You know, I'm not going to have any trouble at all reviewing this one. I'm really not. I'm not sure if I'll hold off with my review until I actually get to play the scenarios, or if I'll just review it on the strength of the loco. I'm kind of thinking I'll do it now on the strength of the loco. On the strength of the drive that I did before, and what I see and hear, and how well it all works and hangs together. So those of you who have got the big boy, yes, that's you, Chicago. Surely you need this so you can double head. And then one thing we need in the game is a nice set of Union Pacific passenger carriages. I know the standard US asset set does come with a set, but they're pretty dated. And they're pretty old. And they're pretty yuck. So getting a nice new set of passenger carriages would be awesome for rail tours. Now we can see what this gauge does. No steam heat going on today. Keeping the fruit cool. If I didn't have the light on in here, it'd be almost pitch black. And just have some gauges lit up. Some of the gauges are backlit and some of them are lit by a globe in front of them. This would have to get annoying, this thing. But good enough is that you can grab it relatively easily if you want to. Bit of tunnel action going on. Do you think we should make sure the people in this house are awake? I do. He's just throttled off again. You notice the smoke's gone quite black as the fireman pumps in more coal. And because he's not using any steam, the safety valve's blowing off. Now he's throttled up again. the automatic driver actually is watching the route to see what's going on. Back to a 0.5, and we've gained speed again, almost up to the speed limit now. Even a steam engine this big doesn't want to hit a truck. Grab a bit of background material out of the Manuel. So I scroll all the way back up to the top. So it's the 3900 class, known as the Challenger. It's an articulated steam locomotive, which means it has two engines that I pointed out before, each with 2 cylinders and 6 driving wheels. Got a 4-wheel pilot truck and a 4-wheel trailing truck, along with a 14-wheel centipede tender. The wheel arrangement is 4664. And the model was built as far as possible using Alco's original drawings for the 3rd and 4th series of the locomotives. And many alterations were made to the design details in the 1950s, and these can be seen on the preserved Challengers that still exist today. Several Dash 3 and Dash 4 Challengers were converted to oil fuel between 1945 and 1946, but this model is a coal-fired heavy Challenger. So that's pretty cool. Mechanical lubricator chugging away there, putting well-needed oil down into the motion. Can we just pass through a rail crossing? Why we do? Naughty. And there's one of the sets of driving wheels there. The trucks on the back are a little reminiscent of a Hudson. And the other set of drivers up here. You can constantly see the reverser moving, so this is under the control of the driver, changing the linkages to add or reduce the amount of steam going into the steam chests. So Mike, if you watch this, and you never know he might, because he commented on one of my videos from yesterday, I am impressed, mate. This thing is bloody awesome. People might think I say that because I'm an ambassador, but you might have noticed I didn't say such nice things about the thing I reviewed the other day. So my views are mine. So when are you going to buy it and buy this one, Chicago? You know, it kind of looks like the wheels on the truck steer on the tender. Wonder if they do. I'm going to have to find that out about this locomotive, whether the wheels on the tender actually articulate at all. Back on the 1% gradient. Heading up the hill on towards Soldiers Summit. I do believe it slowed down for the corner. Where's the sweet spot? There it is. Right about there. Should put us far enough away from the track that if something comes the other way, it won't matter. So now it looks like it's coming straight for us. Hello, Connie Thunder. How are you? I'm doing okay. Family's doing all right. Challenger's doing amazingly well. I know it doesn't look like it's going very fast, but that's because I'm zoomed in so far. That far, in fact. Get off the track. It's going to run us over. Oh, look at that articulation. That was pretty cool. It's good reference right here. Just sit on the edge of this cliff. How about yourself, Connie? I was up pretty early this morning too. I was up at well and truly at 5 a.m. watching Kat stream this morning as she made a livery. Because I got woken up by the garbage trucks at about 4. I have to thank them for that. Coming at 4 a.m. Their right mind drives a truck around in the suburbs picking up crap at about 4 a.m. So we're happily climbing up Soldiers Summit, Connie. Not a TSC fan, huh? I play quite a few train simulator games, so I'm running into rocks and things, aren't I? This gradient must be a bit steeper than it looks. 1.8. No wonder it's slowing down. They're working hard. Let's see what it looks like in the cab. So where's he got the reverser? He's probably at about 60, I'd go. And he's full open on the throttle, so he's using plenty of steam. So if you're driving this thing manually, take note that it's running on 100% throttle and the guy's just using the reverser to control what it's doing. This is good knowledge if you're going to drive. And it's actually, this gradient is the main reason I'm not driving it right now, because I haven't had enough experience with it to try and get it up a super steep hill. With that many cars on the back. There's lots. Oh, there's no one inside. That's a bit sad. Yeah, so it's all TSC this weekend, Connie. I'll be running this one with me driving it on the Amtrak Empire Builder on Marias Pass tomorrow. And since I've run the Union Pacific one now, I might run the DNRGW one tomorrow. Because I can. Where'd that truck come from? Utility there? I think it's throwing sand. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's throwing sand, dude. And on Sunday, we'll finally be driving Metra. Chicago's been asking for forever. I would think with a train this size, you probably need 2 of these things up here. It'll do it. But it's working hard. So if you're thinking about buying this thing, do. And if you've got Wasatch Grade, you'll get some scenarios with it. If you don't have Wasatch Grade, it's quick drive compatible on every route I've tried it on so far. No dramas there. I even popped it into a scenario, which is where the Empire Builder is coming from for tomorrow, and that worked fine as well. It's going to be interesting getting that up Marias Pass with one locomotive, but we'll see. Maybe I'll double head it. Humans can be happy all the time. I give you permission, Connie. You're welcome to be happy. Life's too short to be unhappy. You have a simple philosophy. When someone's giving you the shits, just get rid of them. Send them out of your life. And for the record, I did not mean kill them. I just mean send them out of your life. I wonder if I should drop one of these in on Sunday with Metra. Maybe double heading with a Metra diesel. That could be interesting. I can just imagine how Mr. Chicago would react if I said, hey, we're running Metra today, and then we ran this on Metra. It sounds awfully tempting. Maybe I need to make some scenarios tomorrow. truck driver's going, hey, look at me, I can go faster than a steam train. My wheels don't even turn. What are we doing up there? Yeah, pretty well. Steam generation's dropped off a little, but so is our usage. It's pretty much staying ahead. Biomass is still around 4,200 pounds, which does seem to be where it's happy, hovering around the 4,200 mark. Boiler is nearly full at 0.89. Good to see. Plenty of water and coal left. 43,000 pounds. So what's that about? 20,000 kilos coal? 20 metric tons of coal. That's a lot. And in the gallons, 15,000 near enough. So you divide that by 4. Gets us, what, about 3,000? No, it's multiply it by 4, not divide it. What am I doing? So it's about 60,000 litres of water. 60 metric tons of water. This is one big mama. Just cruising through the backwoods, heading up Soldiers Summit. Just got smoked out, man. Biomass has gone up a little. See, I'm admitting to running this with the automatic driver right now. I was saying I actually worked it out into kilos and converted it to tons, so TONS, metric tons. I'm admitting to driving this with the auto driver right now. I wonder how many streamers will run it and pretend they're driving it. That's just funny. That just occurred to me. I go, look how good I am at driving it. And it's driving itself. Because how would you know? I mean, if you went in here... No. Come on. There's a lot of viewing positions in this one. If you sat in this position here, you'd never know, because you can't see my keyboard. You don't know whether I'm driving or not, do you? I can just pretend now. Hey, it's me. Look at this. No hands. That's just funny. And yes, I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse hoodie. It's cold this morning. I haven't bothered changing. Just gotta blow your whistle sometimes. Sun's getting pretty high in the sky now. Another blowdown. How are we going on our journey? Well, up there. And we've got a fair way to go. We've come a fair way though. We won't run it all the way to the summit. Maybe we'll run it to the switchback. That's pretty cool though. Take a little while to get there though, because we're not going real fast. Not too bad, 30 mile an hour, I guess. It's very, very steep at the switchback, so it should be quite cool. It's just big. And it comes in clean and dirty versions. So each of the different liveries, or branding as we call it these days, has a clean and a dirty version. And each of those has a high definition version and a lesser version. Oops, missed an opportunity to blow the whistle. Oh, better do it now then. Wake up all those people in their double wides up there. So if you're thinking about buying this thing at all, let me just grab you the Australian pricing. Because, you know, you guys are going to want the Australian pricing, aren't you? $35.95 in Australian dinaries. Came out today, is available now. And you know what? I've never done this on stream before, but let me just pop over here so I don't accidentally show you my password or something stupid. Because I reckon I might just log in and review this thing on the spot. Just make this a bit smaller, so you can still watch the train while I do this. Because after all, that's why you're here. Well, let's start with this. And I have to tick that. And I always allow comments. And we should probably also just chuck this in there in case someone sees it and they want to watch the stream. How about that? There we go. That won't go live straight away because I put a link in it, but that's alright. All good. No problem. When you put links in it, they get reviewed by humans. Could be monkeys, dogs, cats, I don't know. Steam reckon it's humans, but how do we know? We can't see them. Green on the signal. Fairly decent speed, 31 mile an hour for a 1.3% gradient. Connie said it's bad timing, but just going to imagine, say, 10 years from now, it'll all be electric and people wanting old electric and diesel locos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they will. Yeah, there's a lot of investment going into hydrogen battery hybrids at the moment, and their only exhaust is water. Of course, you need to use a sustainable electricity source to make the hydrogen in the first place. And you have to hope that we've gotten a little bit better at using hydrogen for machines since the Hindenburg. Because, you know, hydrogen burns quite well, in and out. Hydrogen does have a dubious quality in that you cannot see its flame. So you don't actually know if it's burning. Oh, I see that car drive straight into the back of the excavator. Hey, let's watch trucks do it. Oof. Here goes another one. Straight into the back. Oof. That's one tough excavator. The oil's sitting up here, keeping it warm, so it's nice and thin and pourable. You can see our water level in the column there. That's bouncing around nicely like it should. It's kind of scary when you think of a cylinder as big as this thing and the water's moving that much inside it with no baffles whatsoever. Pretty cool. We're certainly slowing down now, aren't we? 25 mile an hour, 1.5% gradient. Give it all she's got, Captain. Cannot take any more. And what did you always hear in that show after you heard Scotty say that? Warp 9, Mr. Sulu. Because, you know, Kirk, he didn't really give a crap. I think the next thing I have to do with this train is put it on something suburban, like, the Long Island Railroad. That'd be fun. Or we could do, what else could we do? Peninsula Corridor? Pretty sure I've got that for TSC. We're doing Mariah's Pass tomorrow morning. That'll be fun. Promise I'll actually drive it tomorrow morning too. I will have had enough practice by then. There's a lot of them, isn't there? I don't know if I can close the ice hatches or not. I'll let them just sit there open. Working hard now. 1.3%. Looks almost like velvet. Soft and fluffy. Hey, Crazy Dash, how are you? I'm driving the Smokebox Challenger. And we're on Soldiers Summit today. Early tomorrow morning for me, I'll be taking it over Marias Pass. And the question's just popped up, what route is this? I imagine you heard the answer. All good, mate, all good. There's a little bit of delay in my chatting going out to you, and there's a little bit of delay of your text chat coming into me. It's a YouTube thing. I can set it for 0 delay, but then I can't stream in 2K. I can only stream in 1080. And for those capable of watching in 2K, I like to support you. My mic's a bit quiet, is it? It might just be because the game's really loud. Yeah, mic's peaking. I suspect the game's probably drowning me out a bit. I'll bring the mic a bit closer and hopefully you can't hear my mustache. Because this isn't an ASMR rub my mustache on the microphone stream. Although I could. It's kind of sad, isn't it? At the start of the stream, we went through all of the different things that you can do with this locomotive. Hello, Florian. How are you? We're driving the Smokebox Challenger up Soldiers Summit. We're working pretty hard. And I keep blowing the whistle because I like it. Where are we on the route? Oh, we're not far from the big switchback. Excellent. Actually, we're not that far from the end of it, are we? Because we're stopping up there. Oh, I reckon we'll just run the whole bloody thing then. They do indeed, Crazy Dash. Australian trains have Australian steam engines have a mixture of really nice loud whistles like American ones, like big 5 chimes like this one. And little poppy things that go beep beep. Because they've been imported from England. Ooh, there's 666, the devilish milepost. Let's scare the people on the road. Going on there, actually I can't tell because the sky's white, forget about it. Yeah, could be, Connie. Could be. It does look cool, too. Speaking of cats. Oh, there is one. Hang on. There you go. See if I can get her attention. She's awake. Yeah, it's slightly different from DTG's cat this morning, but equally fluffy. Ooh. That sounds a bit like it was slipping. What? I keep banging on things up there. It's amazing that that siding is signal controlled all the way out here. It's not as though it's a runaround or anything. It's even automatic points. Wow. You want to pet the cat? There you go. Done on your behalf. Now we're getting into the big switchbacks now. This train's probably long enough, actually. When the other end gets round the corner, we watch from here, we should be able to see the front of our train. What's our gradient here? Steep, almost 2. And of course, we're now operating at light speed, 15 miles an hour. How heavy is my train? That's a good question. Let's have a look at the report. It's not really... Is it on here? There we go. 1,922 US tons. That's not too bad. Cats don't like the HST fire end. Yes, I'm not allowed to use my speakers. I have to use my headphones. She's certainly working hard now. Still blowing off though. Plenty of steam pressure. The scripted fireman's pretty good at the job, I have to say. What's he messing with there? Oh, the stoker jets. More coal! Actually, last time I ran a train with a pair of AC 4400s up this gradient, I think they were doing about the same speed, Crazy Dash. This steam engine is probably a good cross between speed and power. Because its drivers aren't small, but they're not massive either. So they're about the height of the man, so that puts them probably about 6 feet. And of course it's 2 locomotives, really. So it is effectively its own double header. But Connie, don't forget that dogs won't sit on your chest and stare at your face and waiting till you die so they can eat your cheeks and ears when you're sleeping. Yeah, trains are probably about 3 to 4 times the length of this one. And some a lot longer. In this sort of area, I don't think they'd run the massive ones. Because it's a pretty serious gradient. Wave at all the trucks and cars down there, down the bottom of the hill there. Ooh, you see that semi-trailer doing drifting? They don't have any wheels on the back, do they? I just noticed that. We have to go have a look. Oh, now they do. When you get close enough, they do. And they disappear. That's funny. Draw distances. Yeah, we're looking through the grass. Don't look through the grass. It doesn't work. Yes, you certainly want some helpers. Otherwise, you're just going to grind to a stop with your traction motors on fire. slightly embarrassing to call in and go, dispatch, mate. My train's kind of burning up. I'm just going to get off, all right? You come here and get it. Steam to burn. Still a pretty decent length train, even for a short one. Remember in TSW, this was the longest train you could have. In TSC, this is a little train. The biggest train I've made in TSC that could actually move by driving it was about 2.5 miles long. And the biggest one I've made that only the AI could drive was 4.5 miles long. And Florian asks, or says that his cats like to remind him that it's time for food at 6 a.m. in the morning. Yes, that's very common. Get up, feed me, feed me, feed me, get up, feed me. Crazy says, how do you go downhill steep grades in a steam train? Is it solely air brakes? It depends on the locomotive. So some of them they're strong enough in all of the motion gear, and they're designed for this, that you can actually put them slightly into reverse and power, and they will help you slow down. So gravity trying to make you go faster and the steam slowing you down. Not all of them can do that. If their motion gear is not particularly strong and designed for it, you will break things if you do that. Could even blow the tops out of your pistons. But those ones, yes, it's solely air brakes. That's all you've got. And the way this locomotive is scripted, you can actually piss all of your air away. So if you go brake release, brake release, brake release, brake release, you will find you're stuffed. You've got no more air. Yeah, and I imagine having a dog right in your face at 4 a.m. would wake you up. These ones, I believe, are actually made to use the reverser downhill. Some of the ones in the game do it. The cab forward's another one that works. In TSW, it works on the J8. And the New Zealand JA, that works. We're not far from the big switchbacks now. And that's where we'll be finishing over there today. We can have a big rest after climbing up the hill. That was the one downside of steam engines, is after you've worked them really hard, you wouldn't just head off down the hill on the other side. You'd probably park it up and you'd go and check your brake blocks, and you'd go and check how your engine's going. You'd check all your bearings and make sure nothing's overheating, nothing's fallen off or gotten bent. And TSW, I don't believe you can run out of air. No, I don't think that's programmed in there, which is sad. Sorry to hear that your cat passed, Connie. It's not cool. In our yard, we have a rock for each cat. .9% down to just under 13 miles an hour. It's working pretty hard. And the reverse is almost all the way forwards too. So that's still on 100%, I think. Let's just have a quick look. Yep, regulator's at 100. Where's our reverser? 87. Yeah, on this one, the reverser goes to 100%, so that's most of the way there. Working hard.
guessing Chicago fell asleep again with the phone on his face. Since he's not commenting anymore. He didn't say anything about my poking fun at Metra. Should replace all the diesels on Metra with steam engines. That'll get him going. Like there actually is smoke coming out of both funnels. That's cool. And it's an impressive fire that needs 2 smokestacks to clear it. Yeah, I think it probably is 1 to 2 a.m. for him. You wake up in the morning and his phone's been playing this and it's got a flat battery. Because of course YouTube being YouTube, it'll just go straight onto something else when this finishes. Pretty tight curve. Still 1.9. We've lost a little bit more speed. Still going strong. I saw someone fly a drone through the smoke ejector from a large steam engine once. It's really funny what happened to it. It just sort of disappeared in the air, melted. I don't know if it fell on the ground or if it fell in the smokestack, but it went. Now, unfortunately, on this switchback, you can't look back at your own train because, you know, there's a mountain in the way. It's a bit boring. You can see how the world certainly changed since this old route was put out. They were very sparse then. But I suppose they had to be to get a decent frame rate. Night, Connie. I'll be on again tomorrow morning, so afternoon for you. And again on Sunday like normal. I'm running on Saturday because I want to drive this thing properly. And running on Sunday because I've been promising Chicago I'd run Metra for months. And I finally am, and I didn't want to move it because this came out by surprise. Because I kind of expected it next week. Is Soldier Summit all uphill? Till you get to there, then it's all downhill. Whoosh! The anti-aliasing plays a little bit of havoc with those front vents on there. Like the lubricator up there. Like the way most of the locos got this sort of matte, well-used finish. But the motion's shiny and oily. It's cool. Very nicely done. There's a car with a flat. And another one. Cruising along. Yeah, I think I last used Soldier's Summit earlier this year. And I was just looking for a route that I hadn't used much and thought, that'll do. It's nice and steep. Let's see if this thing can get up it. No honks from the diesel drivers, they're boring. He's been popped in the hole, someone's going to pass him. Does TS have mission fails for getting stuck uphill? Oh, yes. You can even blow up your steam engine if it's the right one. Some of them can run out of water and go bang. I wish I'd thought to put this in the Rio Grande livery instead of the UP livery, because I kind of forgot it was a Rio Grande route. That would have been better. Although the Pacific Fruit Express in UP livery probably did actually run through here on its way to the coast, heading westerly when it's empty and easterly when it's full. If you've joined the stream recently, you're welcome to say hello in the chat. I was going to be firing a steam engine tomorrow myself, but I had to have a little bit of surgery on my arm, and when one of those things comes up and they say, hey, we can fit you in, you go, excellent. I'll change all my other plans. Thank you. And no, it's nothing dramatic. But I've got 7 stitches, so I just didn't want to fire tomorrow. You know, in this caboose on the back, there's going to be a guy asleep, so you know what's going to happen, don't you? You're going to wake him up. We're going to sneak up on him on about as well as a 100-ton loud steam engine actually can. Time to wake up, conductor. That guy's now sat up, banged his head, possibly lost a bit of wee. He's gone, bloody hell. The Challenger is nice. It's got so many moving bits and pieces to it. It's got a power reverser. So when you're controlling the reverser in the cab, that's this rod, and that's controlling this cylinder going back and forth. It sets the motion. There you go, you just saw it move then. It's been adjusted, so it's almost in full forward now. And that changes the fulcrum point on this arm. Driving the regulator on that side. And this rod here is what's driving the valve in the stop of the steam chest that lets the steam in at either end of the piston. There we go, it must be almost there. Oh, 10 miles to go. What the? Here's me thinking we're almost there. It's not much smaller than a big boy. A little. But I don't know if you've seen them together, because these two do excursions together. Well, not this particular one, but Challengers and Big Boys, the Big Boy, are out together sometimes. I don't know. What is this? Oh, it's a drain. Okay. I'll have to get myself a big boy key in the sales one of these days. I don't actually have it. I've got the old crappy one, not the good one. Usual TSC wheels don't really look like they're going around. Then you get TSW wheels that are just blurry. Except on steam engines. So, two guys working hard back there. Neither of them really doing anything much. Is it difficult to drive? No. But note that I'm not driving it right now. It's driving itself. So, no, it's really easy. But no, it's not really difficult anyway. I'm just letting it drive itself climbing up the grade because I want some practice with it before I try it. And I have to say, old mate in here is not driving it in the way that I would have. See, I would have been less throttle out here. I'd probably gone 100%, but he's driving on the reverser, which is different to the way I would do it. But that's probably the way it likes to be driven. So when I drive tomorrow on the Empire Builder, I will be driving it that way. Spirit of Steam's actually a lot easier because on Spirit of Steam you've got infinite steam, whereas this thing you can, like right now it's using more steam than it's generating, mainly because its safety valve blew off. So this one, if you start using up way more steam than you're generating, your boiler pressure will drop quite a lot, whereas we're sitting on 278 currently. Yes, vacuum brakes are weird, Crazy Dash, you're right. Oh, cat's still there. Still churning. What speed are we doing now? Ooh, dropped under 10. We're on a 2.1% gradient. This is all it's got. At this point, the only way to make it up the hill if you stop is leave some cars behind. Look at the vacuum brakes being weak, but they are a bit slow. They don't react too quickly at all. That's our water going. Two studs. Hello. There kind of is an emergency brake, Crazy Dash. You open the valve all the way. That will dump the vacuum completely or destroy the vacuum. Steam sniffing. You ever notice that around steam trains? There's always someone putting their face in the steam and breathing it. Getting a face full of lovely misted lubricating oil. Probably not really good for them. We just drop this guy off somewhere and make him a bit lighter. We'll leave about half the train behind. Oh, we are actually speeding up now because we've come down below 2% again. I've been trying to figure out if the wheels are running at the same speed or not. It's hard to tell because they're not quartered the same. Hello, Andreas. How are you? Welcome to Australia, Mr. Austria. We are the two most confused countries in the world, you know that? Everywhere Australians go, they go, oh, you're from Austria. Everywhere Austrians go, oh, you're from Australia. No. Neither of us. Florian and Andreas, you guys are neighbours. It's like you're right next door to each other. At least compared to me. Up to 14 miles an hour now. We're starting to pick up some speed. Still a little way to go yet. No kangaroos in Austria, that's sad. I'll put one in a box and post it to you. I should probably send you a boy and a girl kangaroo, and then you'll have lots of them within mere days. Because, you know, they breed like kangaroos. Yeah, she is pretty heavy. Big unit. I was just thinking before, so it's almost 2,000 tons for the train. That's a fair bit. Oh, we're finally at this road crossing. The detail on it's quite amazing. I could watch that motion gear all day, I really could. Hang on, OCD. Let's get this right, get it level. There we go. Oh no, it's wrong again. It's gone around the corner. It's just kind of impressive, really. particularly like the piston. That's quite nicely done. Squealy little flanges here. Watch our fireman work for a little while. Yeah, still accelerating. 1.8% gradient. It's starting to pick up speed again. It slowed down when it was on the 2% gradient. It was suffering a bit then. But at this rate, we might actually get to the end of the route today. That's pretty good. Well, you see, the cool thing about this Steam Loco, Andreas, is it's driving itself. I'm not doing it. It's got an automatic engineer. So tomorrow when I run it on, I'm going to lead the Empire Builder with it tomorrow on Mariah's Pass. I'm going to drive it then because I will get a bit more practice driving it after this stream. Just to make sure it goes okay and it does what I think it'll do. But today I'm letting the automatic driver do it because, you know, means I won't bugger it up. Oops. Clonked to me. Safety valve going off again. How are we going on our distances? 7 miles to go. What about speed? 14.3. I'll have to drive it when it's time to stop because it won't. Unless there's a red signal, then I think it will. So if you want to play with it, I don't know if I can get down there. No, I can't. It's got a very good scripted filing. Does the big boy look this good, asked Glowtech? Yes, it does. I don't own it, but I have seen it plenty of times and seen it on stream plenty of times. I should get it really, because then I could double head it with this. That would be fun. The big boy is a little bigger. If I remember rightly, don't take this as gospel, but I believe the big boy's got 4 driving wheels, whereas this has got 3 on each engine. We are close to cresting a summit, so still climbing, still picking up some speed, which is good. Andreas asks, imagine in TS if I did a run with the DTG Big Boy over the simmering containers. We're in the quaternary and I smashed the train out of a curve as one of my first streams. Oh, well done. I think if you were running this in Germany, it's so big, that, or Austria, that it would probably rip the quaternary down. Get stuck in a tunnel. Yeah, and you're right, Crazy Dash. Everybody's at it until the signal's red. The detail on this is amazing. So I'm running the high definition dirty version of it, which looks really nice. Lots of detail. There's a standard definition one which has less nuts and bolts and rivets and things. So instead of being individually modelled, they're just textures like photos. Whereas these ones stand out like they're 3D. And the SD one, these rivets don't look quite like that. Not bad by any means, but not like that. And they come in clean and dirty for each of their different liveries. I'm sure that's happened to everyone, Crazy Dash. And Cajon Pass, you know, the bottom of that San Bernardino, they've copped their fair share of trains crashing into their town. At least 2 in modern times. Wiped out part of San Bernardino last time it happened. You can pretend though, Andreas. Andreas says it wouldn't work because the tracks are too tight and curves and the weight of the axles is too heavy for most EU tracks, but you know, you can just pretend. Besides, in TS, the trains just float along. They don't actually touch the tracks, as you've probably noticed here. Is this the bit where we start going downhill? No. Yeah, I think 3 big ones in modern times, Crazy Dash, but there's, in earlier times, in Steam time, there was more. Well above the snow level here. Where's the control that opens this thing up? I think we should change our classification lights, don't you? Let's make them green. There we go. And let's get a coupler out in case we need it later. Sounds like we're picking up some speed, doesn't it? We are. We're down to 1.7% now. You would hope, Crazy Dash, that with a kinked air hose you'd actually end up stopping. But yeah, if you manage to release all the brakes before you kinked it, you might be in for a bit of a fun ride down the hill, that's for sure. And Andreas, that's very true. You can just mess around with your heart's content. If it explodes, you just change it back. Hey look, it's a camouflage hill. Yep. How are we doing now? 6 miles to go and almost 20 mile an hour. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Wrong button. What's that button? That's under player control, the whistle being quilled like that. Normal spacebar for the whistle and using the enter or return key to quill it. Be cool if more trains had that. I get why the English ones tend not to, because they've got little beep beep whistles, but proper whistles need it. Crazy Dash thinks he had a German route with the 101 and derailed a lot as well. Doesn't think he was pulling Dostos, so it was probably the 101. He'd probably drive too fast. That's what I need to do with this. I need to try and see if it fits in the Bakerloo tunnels. That would be funny. Looks like it's downhill now, but it's not picking up speed, so I'm betting it's not. Nah. If you're in the cab, good luck with seeing signals. Kind of got to stick your head out. Oops, wrong way. The coal level's going down. That's cool. I like that. And Crazy Dash remembers a US route that was based in Oregon that had some street running and a turntable bridge. I think I know that one. Might be on is it RailServe? Yeah, it might be on RailServe. There was a scenario on Creators Club with an AC 4400 in Bakerloo. You know, that really wouldn't surprise me if I did do that, but I don't think it was. That's an excellent question. Let me look at the manual and tell you how many horsepower it's got. Doesn't actually tell me. Let me Google it. Looking for it now. Weighs 1 million pounds. That's impressive. It's pretty heavy. I wonder if that's right. That's a lot. I haven't actually found a horsepower rating for it. I mean, it doesn't even have attractive effort. That's boring. So I'm not quite sure the answer to your question there. I'm going to find out. The Midland line. Yes, I do. And yes, we should. We should run this on 3'6" track, absolutely. Good plan. Gradually getting there. We could run this coupled up to the JA. It might tear the JA in half, so we'll have to put the JA on the front, I think, so it just gets pushed along. If it was between this and the carriages, I think it just end up in pieces. I just can't get over that this thing weighs 500,000 kilograms. That is staggering. Yeah, Midland's super detailed on the middle to long distance drawing. So most PCs, you do need to crank it back a bit. Mine copes with it reasonably well. I get about 20 to 25 FPS, which is not awful. It's It's not amazing, but it's not awful. But I get pauses. So it's more than a stutter, it's definitely a pause that I get.
You know, if I put my head over here, I can probably peer through the front of my train.
Wonder if that works. I'll know in a minute. No, I went the wrong way. I better go this way. I'm going to watch through the front of my little train. See how this works. 20 seconds from now, I'll know. Oh, flashing yellows. There we go. Watching through the windscreen. You need to be up higher now. So I'll sit up here for 20 seconds. That's kind of silly. See if it works. Alright, that's enough. No, it's not quite high enough, is it? Oh well. We've got flashing yellow lights, not too long to go. I think it's throwing sand. Looks like it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. It must be getting a little bit of wheel slip. What's our gradient now? 1.8. Gone up again. So we've lost a bit of speed. I have no doubt in my mind that it'll make it. When all else fails, more power. At least I'm not dropping any frames this week. I complained to my ISP and they reckon they fixed it, so I'm hoping. There you go, well done Low-Tech 420. He says that he's found that the last remaining operational Challenger generates 5,000 horsepower or 3,700 kilowatts and 97,350 pounds per foot, which is 433 kilonewtons of tractive effort. Oh, Saluda Grade, Crashy Crazy Dash. I don't think Saluda Grade's in TSC. Don't think. Let me look. I don't think so. Where did my other browser go that's got Steam in it? There it is. No Saluda Grade. That's a bummer. That would be fun. I think on that one when you're coming down the hill, if you're doing more than 8 mile an hour, I think, it chucks you up a side track into a sand pit. I don't know, could be fun, Florian. You'd have to implement brakes properly for the carriages to do it, because to go down something like Saluda Grade, they'd stop at the top and they'd pin their brakes on so they're about 80% on. So when they're applying and releasing their brakes, they're only making that last 20% from a little bit to a lot. And going up the hill, I've seen videos of trains heading up that hill with 8 diesels on the front. And when they run it, Well, not now, obviously, but when they did run it, there was actually an engineer stationed there permanently who would take each train up or down the hill. And normally on locomotives, if you put on the locomotive brakes, the independence brakes, or you apply the train brake and release and don't bail off the independent brake, the loco will cut out the dynamics. But on that route, they had a key which meant the dynamics stayed on even if the brakes were on the locomotive, because they needed to. How are we going? Oh, I'm on the last leg. Last couple of miles. We'll be stopping in here in the yard. And that'll be it for tonight. Yeah, there is a good documentary on Selector from Delay and Block. There's a couple of old training videos floating around YouTube too that appear and disappear, that told engineers what to expect when they got to Selector and what would happen, and that this guy would climb in and take the train. And I think there's a video on accidents from Selector too. But that one's one of those ones where they just comb through websites and pinch people's photos and read the text from the website. I don't actually like those videos, because they never credit where they got all the material from. Damn bumpy trees pushing me around. I just know someone will yell at me in the comments for having green lights on the front. There's another gradient that's actually steeper than Selector in the US. And Lowtech 420 says by comparison the big boy has 7,000 horsepower, which is 5,200 kilowatts, and a cylinder and attractive effort of 38,240 pounds, which is 614.9 kilonewtons. Yeah, that's pretty hefty. It's like 1.5 of these. Yep, back's still there. He hasn't fallen off yet. Oh, that's a bit of manky scenery. Let's try again. That's better. I was trying to remember what the name of it was. I watched a video on it. It's not used anymore. And when they did use it, they only ever took 1 or 2 cars up it. I think there's a delay and block video for it as well. The Madison Incline, that's the one. 5.89%. And it was open until 1992. There you go. I don't really know how it got the name Big Boy, but probably it rolled out of the shed and someone went, "Whoa, that's a big boy," and it probably just stuck. It's actually interesting because most American train drivers or engineers that I have talked to refer to their trains as boys, whereas almost everywhere else in the world they're referred to as girls. We're almost at the top of the summit. I'll see how close my other half is as to whether we try and run down the other side or not. Oh, she's just about to arrive, actually.
Maybe she has.
Yeah, that sounds about right, Low-Tech 420. One of the builders wrote Big Boy in chalk on the front of the tender and it stuck. Yep, it's just gone, whoa, that's a big boy. And indeed, Andreas, they are usually referred to as old ladies. Or various really rude names because they're not behaving very well. Look at that house up there on the summit, all by itself. What a cold and miserable place to live this would be in winter. Now, what's that signal up there doing? It's got a green light, that'll do. %. We're down to 11 mile an hour. We're about to crest the summit, I think. I kind of think it's just up there. I think there's actually a sign up here somewhere that says summit. It's up here that we stop anyway. Somewhere along here. There's the Y. Y. And then it starts going downhill. I'm impressed at the automatic firing script because it's keeping this thing blowing off even working this hard. That's impressive. When I do it for real, and I wish I was that good at firing locomotives. Sounds like we're speeding up, doesn't it? We are. The gradients slacked right off. In fact, I'd probably better pop in here and take over. Because we're going to want to stop pretty soon. They're coming all the way over here. Oh, I'm going too fast. You can see how much I care about speeding, can't you? Should I fix it? I suppose I should. Down, so that's pretty good. Right, release that now. And back, come back. Don't stay over there. I thought I opened assembly cocks, maybe I didn't. Look at that, it drove so well by itself. And then I just mess it up. So we get in there, £10. Yeah, near enough. What did she do, Crazy Dash? Yeah, the diesel coming. Yeah, cats really do only care about being fed. You really wouldn't stick your head out here, would you? No, I won't. It's got a nice clanky motion now that she's not powering. I don't think so. I don't see one. I think you just meant to know. Welcome to the desolate place. We'll just guess it now. I reckon down there past that tree will be about right. Unless there's a signal coming up. That should get me about £30 in the end, I think. Yeah, look at that, £30. And that brings us to the end of tonight's stream if the scenario finishes. Maybe I stopped too early. Oh no, it's all good. Cool. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is Smokebox's Challenger. And it's really quite awesome. Alrighty. Well, thanks heaps for watching. Thanks for coming along. And I especially love all of the chatter. That's really helpful. It actually helps the channel a lot to have the chatter. And for the 98 people who are watching this behind the time, see that button down the bottom marked live with a big red dot on it? Or it's probably got a grey dot because you're behind the time. Press it, and then you go live. And then you can chat, but that's okay. All right, thanks heaps, folks. Enjoy yourselves. I will be back on in about 14 and a bit hours for driving this properly, and I'll be driving it on Mariah's Pass, pulling the Empire Builder. And on Sunday, we'll be driving Metro trains, and I reckon I'm going to sneak the Challenger in just to annoy a bloke named Chicago. All right, have fun, folks. Thanks a lot. See ya. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to get your feedback in the form of likes and comments because they help me understand what you want. Give the channel a subscribe and click on the tinkly things so you don't miss out on any new stuff. And thanks for your ongoing support. And please, be safe out there.